I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game, not a game.
Me. Bam, bam. Me, man.
Not a game.
Slap that like she scored 30.
What are we even talking about, man? We talking about sports here.
Oh man, got little special edition, dropping a little something midweek. Justin and me coming at y'all with a little UFC episode for this weekend's pay-per-view, UFC 265 in H-Town, Houston, Texas. The Black Beast takes on Ciryl Gane for the interim heavyweight champion. Not going to get to the specifics about the interim title. I know that we already talked about that. We're just going to be here, 10, 20 minutes, break down the main card and give you a play if there's anything that we like enough to, give out to the masses. So, Justin, what's up with you, man? How you feeling? Are you excited for this fight?
Yeah, of course I'm not excited about the interim situation. I think it's a little early, to Francis Ngannou's just winning the belt off Stipe.
His title reign.
But I'm glad we're still having UFC events. We're still having fans in the stands because that has made a difference as far as even just watching it. And they're back in H-Town, which is nice. I mean, it was not too long ago they were there. It was the Diaz fight and Usman.
Oliveira. That's where Oliveira won his title.
Oh, that's right. It was that fight. So not too long ago. But, yeah, looking forward to this weekend. Not only that, Ben, but there's going to be a play today, I hear. We might have a play coming up.
Yeah, I think there's something that me and you both like consensus-wise. Hey, Justin, I know that you forget that last Houston card because that's when your boy Chandler got slept. But
yeah, I don't know why you had to do that. I had suppressed that little memory in that right side of my brain.
It was just a little gray area in your brain.
Yeah.
But so something that happened. The GOAT was supposed to be on this card, ended up having to pull out due to contracting COVID-19. So, do you still like the card without Amanda Nunes defending her title against? It was going to be Juliana Pena.
I'm gonna say I do like the card still, just because you got the heavyweight, and when the heavyweights are at it, it's always something fun to watch, especially when you got the Black Beast and what is Gane now has come up. It would have been a lot better for the fans if Amanda was on, but that's okay. So fortunately, she got COVID. Hope she comes back soon and recovers well, and all is safe with her family and her newborn baby, or not newborn, but maybe a year now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, the line for that fight was Nunes minus 1,000 anyway, minus 1,200. I mean, I don't think anybody expected the title to change hands, but she does always put on a show when she fights, and it was going to be a good co-main event to this, interim title main event. But anyways, man, let's get to the curtain jerker for the pay-per-view. We got Kenney coming off a loss against Dominic Cruz against Song Yadong in the Bantamweight division.
What's his nickname?
We had a little bit of a controversy over his nickname.
It's Kung Fu Monkey.
Sherdog here shows Kung Fu Monkey. You were giving me another name prior to us coming to air.
Setting him up.
Yeah, but you were trying to catch me slipping. But Song Yadong coming in off a loss to Kyler Phillips. We saw Kyler Phillips on the fight night. Was it last weekend or the weekend before? Got robbed by the judges. It was that one card with Maverick and Barber as well, where there was just robberies left and right. But he's coming in off a loss to Phillips, where he pretty much got his ass whooped by Phillips. That whole fight, he was ranked. He lost his ranking after losing that fight. Prior to that, the win against Chito Vera, and I mean, that aged well. But, he's not very active, Yadong. One fight every year. So that fight has been a little while ago. We're here wrapping up 2021 already. We're here at the back end, the home stretch. Yadong's getting in for the second time, but like we said, that loss. Do you see him changing his luck in 2021, Justin? You see him getting a win here?
I don't see him getting the win here. I think it's going to be a decision. If you look at Kenney's record, he's 16-3. That's not a bad record, but out of those 16 wins, 9 have come from decision, 5 from subs. I just see it being a decision. He'll outpoint him, and I have a lot of faith in him because I'm a big Dominic Cruz fan, and he took Dominic Cruz to a split decision. Yes. One judge saw it his way. So as far as stock goes, I'm going to put a little more stock in Casey Kenney this weekend than I would on the Kung Fu Monkey.
Do you remember his fight? I know that I just said the judges have been tripping. I know you're a Dom fan. I know you saw the fight. Do you remember? I mean, was there a path to scoring the fight for Casey Kenney, or was that one judge kind of just tripping?
There was the second round that I thought could have gone either way. So I wasn't upset that it was a split decision. So no, I don't think the judge was tripping on that one. And I believe if you look up the verdict, have you ever used verdict before? It's like a universal judging where you get to input on your phone how you scored the card. So at the end of the fights, you get to compare how you scored it and how the universe or the world scored it compared to the judges. And that second round was 9-9. It was kind of slipping either way. So not a big deal there on that card right there.
Yeah. Like you, I too like Kenney, man. I like his strength of schedule. Like you said, that Dominic Cruz fight, although it was a loss, those were a valuable 15 minutes in the octagon with Dominic Cruz. Prior to that, he had the win over Nathaniel Wood, a win over Luis Smoka. I mean, he's even been in there with Merab Dvalishvili, who is, can't seem to find too many fights. I know that he's fighting Marlon Moraes here coming up in a couple of months, but nobody really likes getting in there with him due to his wrestling. But Casey Kenney has a gas tank. You noted that he has those decision victories. Most of his victories do come by decision. He is able to push the pace. I think that he's going to be able to get Song Yadong down at times, work him on the mat. And in that Phillips fight, Song Yadong, I mean, his gas tank really was going out. Yeah, in that third round, he was pretty much just a punching bag. So I like Casey Kenney to get back on track here against a guy that's outside of the rankings. It'll inch Casey Kenney closer to the rankings, but I do see him getting back on track. And the line right now is only -125. So maybe that's something that we might look at later on in the show.
So Ben, the other thing I also do like on Casey Kenney is when it comes to a fighter, sometimes you have to look at cage time. And he had cage time in 2020. He had 4 fights in 2020. Song Yadong had 1 fight, and that was in May. And then in March, he had a second fight in 2021. So Casey Kenney has a little bit more experience recently in the octagon than Song Yadong. I think that could, be that little factor. If you're looking for the edge, those are things to look at because it is a close line. I think those things are the things you got to look at.
Yeah, and with the momentum, like you said, the one thing that does worry about Yadong, and like I think we both have Casey Kenney winning by decision, but Yadong comes out of Team Alpha Male, man, and they seem to be the ones that get those stupid decisions. Macy Barber and even the dude who beat Kyler Phillips. His name right now is I can't come up with his name right now, but the Team Alpha Male, I mean, they see Uriah Faber in the corner, man, and the judges, it seems like they get starstruck and shit.
It's Raleigh Paiva.
Yeah, Paiva. There you go, Paiva. It's a hard name to go out there and grab. So
it doesn't fly off the lips,
Yeah. So yeah, I do like Casey Kenney here. Let's go to the next fight. Tecia Torres. Justin, you're gonna do most of the breakdown here, Justin. The women's strawweight division. Tecia the Tiny Tornado Torres -142 against Angela Overkill Hill +115. Justin, how do you see this fight going?
Well, I know for some of us, this might be the bathroom break fight of the card. It's unfortunate just because these girls are on the smaller side, so you're not going to see a knockout. When we go down to Tecia Torres, 12 wins, only 1 by knockout, 10 by decision. So I'm expecting a decision win for her. Tecia Torres is on the upside. She's got 2 wins. Angela Overkill does have a controversial loss, I believe. But she's got 1 win on Ashley Yoder, but she did fight 2 of the best in the division with Michelle Watterson, the Karate Hottie, and Claudia Gadelia. But I got Tecia Torres right now, the Tiny Tornado, taking this one, and you can guarantee it's going to be a decision. It won't be a knockout, and I really doubt it'll be a submission.
What's let me see the line on the over under. there is no over-under. So I think that they expect this to go to a decision.
Yeah.
But like this is, like you said, I mean, this is a guaranteed 15-minute break right here for you if you don't want to see a 5'1", 100-pound female fight, you know, a 5'3", 115-pound female. There's not going to be too much excitement in this fight. Tecia Torres is streaking right now. Seems to have turned it around a bit. 2 wins. The opponents haven't been the biggest names. I think that was the biggest thing for her. Like a lot of these veteran fighters, they just have to fight the competition that's at their level. Once they start scaling them back from, you know, those top 15, top 10 opponents, they seem to get the wheels rolling again and be profitable for the UFC just based off of the name value. So I do think that Tecia Torres is taking a step up here against Angela Hill. Angela Hill has, you know, a step up as of late. Obviously, this is a rematch. This was Angela Hill's second fight in the UFC back in 2015, June 13 of 2015. Unanimous decision win for Tecia Torres. So I think I expect the same. I expect Tecia probably to just have her up against the fence, you know, grinding on her and possibly, you know, work a takedown in there. I don't think she'll be able to keep Angela Hill down just because she's too damn small. Yeah, but the gas tank, the decision, and she seems to, you know, get decision wins. And Angela Hill's always on the wrong side of the decisions.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a really good point as far as when they scale back the opponents, these UFC fighters tend to start getting the wins, the wheels rolling. Let's take a look at Tecia Torres' losses. They're the who's who of that division. You got Weili Zhang, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Jessica Andrade, and Rose Namajunas. Those are the fighters she's lost to. Those are the who's who of that division, the cream of the crop, the top of the top. So Angela Hill's not in that level. So if you're looking for an edge again, I think there's something there with Tecia Torres on this fight. A decision, heavy wrestling. That's how I see it.
The line's not going to – again, the line's not even too crazy. But, I mean, if you're going to throw some of your coin on it, like, I mean, obviously you're going to want to watch it because you're betting on it. But, damn, bro, it might just be better to save you the headache and the stress and, you know, not watch it and just come back in 15 minutes to see the decision be read because this fight, I think it's going to be kind of sloppy and there's not going to be much. Like, it's going to be hard to judge, I think, just based on what's happening in the fight. I hope they prove me wrong. I'm hating a lot, but Tecia Torres fights usually aren't very fun.
Yeah.
Because she's a safe fighter. So anyways, let's get to a fun fight. In the welterweight division, Michael Maverick Chiesa plus 105 underdog against Vicente the Silent Assassin Luque minus 124. You got Luque coming in with a 20-7 record, and then you got Chiesa with an 18-4 record. Chiesa, I guess, finally fighting somebody that's, you know, of his size. He's a pretty big guy for the division. I know that he did move up from 170 to 185.
No, 155 to 170.
155 to 170. I'm sorry. So it's kind of easier for him to make this weight. I don't think that he has to cut much weight. But Luque is one of the bigger guys in the division. I think that the path to victory is Chiesa's going to have to get Luque to the ground. I think if it stays standing, Luque clearly has an advantage. How do you see it going, Justin?
Well, I'm just going to give the edge to Luque here because I'm looking at Michael Chiesa, and we saw what he was at the lightweight division with losses to Anthony Pettis recently, Kevin Lee, Joe Lozon.
Well, not recently, 2018. It was a while.
Well, a few years. Then he moves over to welter, and he gets on a win streak. But look at the guys he won at welter. Carlos Condit. You know Carlos Condit hasn't been the same.
I agree.
Carlos Condit's not there.
That's not a good win.
Yeah. Then we're going to move on to a Diego Sanchez win. Diego Sanchez is a very small welterweight.
And he couldn't even get him out of there. That isn't that good of a look.
And that's a small welterweight. He really should be a lightweight, Diego Sanchez. Then you're going to go to RDA, another person who's back at lightweight. He was a failed welterweight attempt again, a small welterweight.
Well, but
RDA,
I mean,
has
Justin, I would relax on the RDA isn't good because if Makhachev beats RDA and the big Makhachev fan that you are, you're going to be saying it's a good win.
Yeah, so not a Makhachev fan. But Makhachev's fighting at lightweight where RDA belongs at lightweight. That's my argument. Okay. The other one, though, is No Magny. Now, that is a guy that has size. That is a true welterweight. And for the most part, I mean, Chiesa was able to impose his wrestling will on him. I do like that. But then I go to the Vicente Luque fight, and I see what he did against my ex-boy, Tyron Woodley, and what he did with Nico Price in that doctor stoppage. I'm just going to give that little edge to Vicente Luque on this one.
But, I mean, Woodley was pretty washed for MMA, I would say, by that point, and he did take Woodley down. I don't think that he wants any pedo with Chiesa on the ground. I think that Luque is going to 100% keep it standing. Randy Brown, Nico Price.
But you don't think that a guy like Luque with 7 submissions on his win list doesn't want anything on the ground with
Chiesa? Not against Chiesa, because that's kind of Chiesa's only route to victory is on the ground. That's why I don't think that he wants anything down there, because why even if that's literally Chiesa's only route to victory?
It is true.
So I think the game plan is 100% stand up right here. With Woodley, I mean, the plan sometimes is to get Woodley down. I don't think that he's going to have the same game plan as a Woodley fight. But even then, I mean, Chiesa would beat Woodley at this point in their careers. Nico Price, Randy Brown, I mean, that's not the best competition. The Stephen Thompson loss, obviously, that's very respectable. But, I mean, it wasn't even close. After that, you got wins to Mike Perry and all that. Barberena, listen.
Wins over Bilal Muhammad, too.
Luque's tough. Yeah. Bilal Muhammad before he got on that win streak. But Bilal Muhammad's tough, and he puts on hella performances on his fights. They're always exciting as hell. I just feel that Michael Chiesa is going to be able to neutralize him in this fight. I think that we are going to see some takedowns. Chiesa still is the bigger guy. The decision, I mean, I don't know if Luque wins a decision. Do you feel like Luque has to win inside the distance, or do you think that Luque can win a decision?
The thing is, most Luque fights don't go to decision. It's always a knockout or a sub. So I like him to rock Chiesa and get him out probably in the second round.
In the second round, okay. And the over-under is 2.5 with the over 2.5 juice. I do see the fight going to decision. Obviously, I'm pulling for Chiesa in this matchup, and most of his wins have been by decision. I don't see him choking out Luque, but I can see him neutralizing him, kind of like he did to Magny. And Magny's a much longer and bigger fighter. He was able to do it to him. Now Luque is tougher than Magny, though. I'll give him that. I'm definitely going to be tuning into this fight. This is one of the more intriguing fights. I like this matchup a lot. The matchmaking here, I think they knocked it out of the park. The clash of styles was going to be good. Yeah. I think we're just going to see who does who better. You know what I mean? Does Chiesa get him to the ground? Does Luque, piece him up standing up?
And if you do believe in Chiesa, there's value there. It's plus money.
Yeah, plus money. And, for that, we've been plugging Bet King Online. Y'all get over there, use that promo code We Talking About Sports. They will match your deposit 100%. You can get more details from them on that. I know they're running a couple of contests and stuff, but reach out to their Twitter. It's Bet King Online. Reach out to any of us, and we can kind of point you in that right direction. There's some decently lined fights on this card, man. Y'all want to, put some lunch money on some fights Saturday night, watch the pay-per-view with your buddies. Bet King Online is the spot to do it.
You know it.
All right, so the next fight, let's get to the co-main event, Justin. José Aldo in the Bantamweight division, -128 favorite against Pedro, the young Punisher Munhoz. Munhoz comes in as a +105 underdog. I think this is going to be a pretty good fight, too. I think that this is good matchmaking. Should see a stand-up battle for the most part. Just kind of comes down to, do you think that Pedro Munhoz is at that level? We have seen him fight up in several occasions and not always come out victorious. Obviously, his title run, his hopes for a title shot were cut short, a little before a title eliminator. So how do you see this going down? Is Aldo washed up? Is Munhoz up next? How do you see it?
Well, Munhoz is actually older than Aldo, surprisingly. Aldo's been in the game for quite some time, has a lot of cage time.
That's just that. Like here, we can just say the age is just a number because the miles of octagon and wear and tear is José Aldo is the older fighter in this fight.
Yeah,
I don't care what their age is.
You can say that. So to get to my point, though, stylistically, I agree. I see this being a stand-up fight for both of them. But I'm going to edge it out to Jose Aldo here because of the leg kicks. That's my only reasoning. This fight to me is very close. I can flip-flop on it. I probably won't put money on it because I don't really feel confident on either one. But if I'm going to choose one, it's going to be Aldo with the leg kicks.
Yeah, and that's because, Munhoz looked really good his last fight against Jimmy Rivera. He beat the crap out of Rivera. I know that was a little bit of bad blood, but, a loss to Frankie Edgar in 2020 and then that loss to Aljamain Sterling in 2019 was obviously Sterling the champ now, and Frankie Edgar's never anything to hang your hat on if you do lose to him. But, at this point, the guys that are the top dogs, Ortega, the Ortegas of the world, and, those Max Holloways, they're, putting Frankie Edgar's lights out. Frankie Edgar's not really competitive with those guys that are battling for titles. We've seen Jose Aldo against the champ Petr Yan. What was a pretty competitive fight until it got to the later rounds, and Aldo seemed to run out of gas. Here in a 3-round fight, I'm gonna agree with you, man. I'm gonna go with the experience. I think that Aldo's gonna win a decision. There is a lot of juice to this over, I believe. No, actually, there isn't. No, there is over 2.5 minus 215. So they do expect it to go to the judges, but minus 120, minus 110 on the side of who you think is going to win. I think it's a toss-up fight. I would stay away. But if Jose Aldo cannot beat Pedro Munhoz, I think we're going to see Jose Aldo fizzling out in this division.
Yeah, you're going to see maybe a few matches left where it's hand-picked opponents in a way. Right. And we're going to let him ride out into
or the like Brazil events, just whatever they need him for, where he will sell tickets.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, well, let's get to the main event, man. Let's bring this thing home. You got Houston's very own Derrick the Black Beast Lewis, plus 300 underdog, man, against Ciryl Gamin Gane. Comes in as a minus 400 favorite. Now, Ciryl Gane has been very active since he got on in the UFC. Believe that he came in through the Dana White Contender Series, Justin?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? And obviously he was a teammate of Francis Ngannou. So, he had that hype, another French fighter. Derrick Lewis comes in 25-7. Obviously, that big win over Curtis Blades his last time out. I know that we previewed that fight, and I just thought that the wrestling was going to be too much and that Lewis was going to get taken down. So I know I was on Curtis Blades, but Lewis caught him with that uppercut, caught him clean. One of the better knockouts of 2021. And he's riding a win streak, man. He's riding a 4-fight win streak. Not the best wins. Alexei Oleinik. Latifi, and then Blagoy Ivanov. I mean, those aren't really, guys that are fighting for belts. But he has been underdog in a couple of those fights, and definitely that Curtis Blades one. On the other hand, you got Ciryl Gane, who's 9-0. Like I said, he's been very active. He already has 2 wins in 2021. Win over Jairzinho Rozenstruik, a decision, unanimous. Alexander Volkov was the most recent one in June. Unanimous decision as well. Wins over Junior Dos Santos, Tanner Boser. So this guy seems to be point fighting to me. I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't seen many of his fights. Like this past one, I didn't think he was main event worthy. Obviously now he's fighting for a title, but he seems very boring to me for a heavyweight. He seems like a better athlete and just like a better version of like these point fighting, like Chase Sherman or somebody who just tap point fights. He's very smart, doesn't put himself in the way of danger. Has fought 5-round fight. Like I said, he had no business main eventing the last fight night that he did, but he has been in there for 30 minutes. He's obviously in shape and can withstand the 30 minutes. The question is, can he, stay without getting touched by that Derrick Lewis right hand, Justin?
Yeah, so basically what I'm going to go with is I've kind of seen somebody who has power fight Ciryl Gane, and that's Jairzinho Rozenstruik. We know Biggie Boy can put anybody out with one punch as well. And the whole time, Ciryl Gane just used the jab, and he kept distance, and he never made a stupid move where he could get caught or be in trouble. I kind of expect the same thing, unfortunately, here. I think he's going to keep that point fight system, like you said, and go all the way to decision time. and ride a decision home. And that's unfortunate because I am a Black Beast fan and I do want him to win. I just don't see it, and neither does Vegas, as you can tell. The lines are steep.
I was very surprised at those odds. I think just based off those odds and Derrick Lewis being at home, I mean, the crowd's going to be hype as hell. He's going to come out to UGK or Travis Scott, some sort of Houston song.
Something Houston.
I think that the roof's going to come off the Toyota Center when he does walk out. But once the fight starts, I think you're going to hear a lot of booing from the fans because Gane is just going to be playing that little game. I don't know if he's going to be trying to wrestle Derrick Lewis and actually try and get him to the ground. I know that he has that in his arsenal and he has used it. But, I mean, at those odds, at plus 300 for Derrick Lewis, and this is Gane, a guy who doesn't – I mean, Alexander Volkov, he has that win as well, Rosenstrike. His wins aren't the greatest wins either. You know, obviously they don't have a win over DC. They don't have a win over Stipe. And Derrick Lewis does have that one terrible fight win over Ngannou. But these guys are lacking like that stamp win, I think. For Derrick Lewis, he doesn't seem to lose to guys that aren't top 5. So I think at these odds, you have to go Derrick Lewis, especially in the Toyota Center. But, I mean, if Gane has his way and doesn't get caught, he should coast to a decision win. It's going to come down to just Derrick Lewis catching.
Yeah, and I can't agree more. If you're going to put some money at those odds, you got to put it on the guy who's a one-hitter quitter and Derrick Lewis and just let it ride. Because, I mean, you're not going to make anything on Gane anyway. And there's a chance because Derrick Lewis has that puncher's chance every fight he steps in. So.
Yeah, every round starts standing up, obviously. Gane is pretty good about not getting hit. Vegas has the fight lined at over 4.5. So, I mean, a heavyweight fight, you're seeing a number like 4.5. They're expecting the fight to go, 25-30 at least. Yeah. 25-30 is the halfway point. And it's plus 150 to the over. So, if you like Gane, I say take the over at plus 150 instead of the minus 365. I don't think that Gane finishes Derrick Lewis. I mean, he hasn't finished, Volkov or these guys. I don't see Derrick Lewis getting finished in there. Or I don't know what the number on Gane is by decision. I think that'll come out closer to fight day. But over 4.5 at plus 150, if you like Gane, I think that's the way to go. I think if he wins, it's going to be a decision. Like I said, a lot of boos. I don't expect them to be that exciting.
All right, well, we do have a play to give away, something we both already agreed on the pod. Did we agree on more than one fight?
Did we agree on more than? I think we both had Aldo, but it was like kind of just with our hearts and just we need to see Pedro Munhoz do it, I guess.
Yeah.
But Casey Kenney, we did both. Yeah. Well, no, I like Derrick Lewis in that one, especially at those odds. I think I'm just going to go with Lewis. Fuck God.
I like that. But Casey Kenney will go unanimous for the pod this week. Casey Kenney, what was the minus 115? Casey Kenney to win.
Minus 115 against Song Yadong. Team Alpha Male, we will have to deal with Faber in the corner, winking at the judges. So Adelaide Bird, no wonder she scores these fights all stupid. La pinche Adelaide Bird. But let Casey Kenney get back on track. This is a step down in competition for him. Keep the pressure and gas Yadong out and win a decision win. So we'll go Casey Kenney minus 115 for this week's unanimous play on the podcast. And y'all can play that at BetKing Online, man. Twitter, Facebook, hit us up. We'll point you in the right direction.
Yeah. So BetKing Online, the promo code WTBS. If you have any questions, hit any of us up, and we're going to help you out and get you set up. There's a little bonus for you, so it helps you use the promo code. Trust me on this one.
For sure. And with football season around the corner, it only makes sense.
Yeah, we're going to be giving out a lot of plays come football season. I know Ben has a daily show lined up for you on Sundays, so.
Yeah, it's going to be dope.
Well, Ben, where are you watching the fight?
I'm probably going to watch it at home, man. We've been busy with visitors, every weekend over here. A lot of friends coming into town visiting. I think this might be the weekend where we just sit down in the living room and, watch the fights, chill, recover.
Any barbecue going on? I know you were barbecuing a lot.
Yeah, this past week we barbecued a lot, but I don't know if I'm going to be barbecuing this weekend. It depends on where I watch the fight. I might meet up with Rick, and when I link up with Rick, we usually do barbecue. So,
Yeah.
depending on where I watch it.
Sounds good, man. I'll just be here at home, watch it, maybe order some Wingstop or something.
Wingstop, cuz that's the go-to wing place for you, or what?
No, Fat Boy need a 10-piece, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Fat Boy lemon pepper 10-piece.
Yes, sir.
Shout out Rick Ross.
Yeah, that's right.
I was talking to somebody and I was like, man, it's pretty crazy how much money Rick Ross has, bro. Like anytime I see something of Rick Ross, it's him flexing how much of something he has, bro.
He's a mogul, bro. I mean, he's a mogul. I heard he has like over 100 cars now, so.
Yeah. Well, that Coming to America 2 was just filmed in his house. Like that's straight up where they filmed it. They paid him to film there. They took a wing of his house, his mansion, and it's like 100 acres in Atlanta. And that's where they filmed Coming to America 2. Maybe
that's why they gave him the cameo.
There you go. That's probably why it was his property. So that makes sense.
All right. Well, man.
All right, Jess. Have a good weekend, brother. And I know
UFC 265, baby.
Yeah, we got an NFL episode lined up for this Thursday. It'll be dropping Friday as well.
AFC West.
AFC West. Let's go.
Deuces.
All right, deuce, man.
I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game, not a game.
Me. Bam, bam. Me, man.
Not a game.
Slap that like she scored 30.
What are we even talking about, man? We talking about sports here.